Okay. Good morning. Here we go. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Eagle Realty, the Eagle Reality. Start that over. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the podcast here, the Eagle Reality Podcast. Thanks for listening. Thanks for subscribing. If you haven't subscribed on iTunes or if you haven't enabled the Alexa skill, or if you're listening on SoundCloud or whatever, and you want to follow the channel, awesome. I just want to thank you for this. And really, my whole goal is to add some value to mainly your real estate career. Most of my audience is realtors or brokers in the real estate industry or related industries. And so thank you for that. Hopefully adding some value to what you do every day from my experience and some subjective opinions, honestly. But we're closing out. Actually, today's the last episode. So we're closing out the More series. Been in this is the fourth week, so you can go back and listen to the last 3 episodes. And we kind of kicked it off talking about this word more, and this is our theme word here at Eagle for me personally, for our company, for 2019. Right. So we broke down last year. We had a theme called more content. So 2018 was all about increasing the content, increasing brand, and really going full force into organic content and creating more content from our under our pillars. So actually, the previous podcast series in January was talking about our pillar series, I think, and we talked about audio, video, and written. So you can go back and listen to that as well, and just really focused in on content. But our year of more, we kind of took more content and we let's shorten up more, just more everything. Let's make 2019 about growth and about expanding ourselves, and not only just in business but personally, and really having a goal and a mindset of more for this year, and more that we want to accomplish, more that we want to do, more that we want to create, looking at more opportunities that may be on the horizon. So if you go back and listen to the last 3 episodes, you'll hear about those. So I kind of have 4 areas that we talk about more in for 2019. And I think that most everything that we're doing in our business, in our real estate business right now, can fall under one of those areas. So a lot of this isn't for you to just adopt my philosophy for 2019 and to copy, unless you want to, and that's totally cool. That's fine. You can take this whole concept, you can take the word, and you can create a whole campaign around it. It doesn't bother me, but I'm more hoping to spark some thought process in your own business and saying, okay, what am I really about? How can I hone in? How can I focus in on one word or one sentiment or one statement that really is going to set the tone for my 2019. I really believe in setting the tone for the year and what you want to accomplish and the goals that you have for moving forward. So whether it's more or whether it's whatever phrase or thought process you come up with, that is totally cool. But my arenas under more, my subcategories basically, that you can hear each of these episodes. We talked about content, of course, because even though last year was more content, it's like more content this year, and you can hear about ways that we doubled up and that we are trying to create more and build brand even more in 2019. We talked about growth as a company, and that can be numbers and goals and that kind of stuff, but it's also just as individuals, as mindsets, as expertise, as learning, as knowledge. So more growth it can really manifest in some different ways than just the numbers, than just the gross sales. So, and then last week we talked about opportunities, and really what does that look like to have more opportunities, and how do you stay keenly aware of opportunities that might help or expand for the long run, for the short term as well, and really have an eye on that to diversify your business and your really your success over the long haul, and opportunities to impact and leave legacy as well, and not just be so focused on short-term gain. So, and that's how I kind of look at opportunities as well. So this last series today, this last episode today in this series, we are talking about patience. So that is probably one of the hardest things in business and life. Shout out to my parents out there with kids like I have. Patience is something that is not just, and someone said this the other day, they're like, well, some people are born with patience. No, you may have the capacity to have more patience if you've practiced it or you have an environment. But we're all born babies that just cry. Like we are impatient by human nature. So it is something that's not natural per se. Some people may have more capacity for it, but it's not a natural thing to just have patience. You have to practice patience. You have to grow in your patience. You have to desire and understand and really tell yourself there's sometimes that I have to have patience and that I have to make sure that I am paying attention to the fact that it's not all about me and I can't have everything right now. And in a world and culture that we currently live in that is about instant gratification, that is about the now, that is about, really, I need to be a millionaire out of high school, or I need to, and I just talked about it. I was on a podcast and Michael Zed Johnson. If you look him up on YouTube, I was just on his podcast last week, and he was talking about this. He's just like, this just instant, like, if I don't get there fast enough, if I don't, make a million, if I don't have a $200 million gross revenue business, if I don't realize my dreams and my careers within the first couple years of my adulthood, then I'm a failure. And it really goes full extreme spectrum to the negative end way too quickly. And a lot of that is lack of patience and not understanding that patience is an essential element for long-term success, for lasting success, for impactful success, for generational success. You have to have patience in the moment, and don't get patience confused with complacency. Don't get patience confused with non-activeness during each day and non-pursuit and ambition. Patience doesn't take away from that. Patience is perspective and understanding that the long-term payoff and the long-term ROI is just as beneficial as the short term. Patience is the long game, and understanding that there may be more down the road and more success and more opportunity and more growth and all these things that we've been talking about, that there's an opportunity for a bigger payoff in the long term than in the short term if you can just be patient enough to get there. If you can bide and do the things now that are going to pay off bigger in 10 years than they'll pay off in 1 year. And don't just sell yourself short. Don't just take the easy way out, but be patient for the long game. This is especially true in real estate. This is true when it comes to your first year in real estate, your first 2 years in real estate. Too many shows out there, $1 Million Listing and HGTV and Property Brothers, and all these shows promote this like quick, easy, fast lifestyle, and what that if you're a real estate agent, you should be doing this or making this right now and when you first start. And there are some great success stories out there. I've heard, I've been at conferences, I've heard lots of people that, you do 60 transactions your first year, or 30, or you fell into a niche market. I think there's a lot of work lead up to that. I don't think that just happens just for every person. One, two, that is still a micro percentage of the people that get into this industry, get into real estate. So it's not a good comp as a real estate term. It's not a good comparable for every single person that gets into real estate. But I do believe with the right patience and work mindset and work ethic, that success stories like that could be more of the norm. And it's just really, are you willing to be patient? Are you really willing to put in the work that it takes in this intermediary term, and be patient for the payoff in the long term? Build something longer, something that lasts. A lot of times, if it's short lived, it's short lived, and it's not going to repeat itself. It's not going to last. When you're patient, you can make your business repetitive, and you can build something that has a steady and exponential growth rate that is going to just pay off huge dividends down the road if you can just be patient with it. I'll preach patience, but I have to practice it every single day. I think we all do. So when it comes to patience, this is not something you just go, oh, I'll just have patience. It's practiced every day. And that is something that we have to, as real estate agents, as business people, as entrepreneurs, and as humans, understand that we need to practice patience, and we need to have this as a basis and more patience as we move forward in our life every single day. Well, I hope you've enjoyed the More series. Go back and listen to the last 3 episodes. Hope you enjoyed this episode on patience. And we'll probably have a couple one-off podcasts, and we'll start a whole new series coming out the gate here as we head into March and head into spring. So I hope you guys have a great week. Thank you again for subscribing. Make sure you hit that subscribe button on iTunes so you can stay up to date with the latest podcasts. Listen on Alexa. Listen on SoundCloud, Stitcher, everywhere that you listen. I would love to help in any way. So reach out to me if I can be a help to your real estate business or any business. Just feel free to follow me on social, message me, and I'd be happy to help. Thanks, and have an awesome, awesome week.